Here at News4 San Antonio, we began a nature series a few months ago in partnering with the Texas Master Naturalists, the Texas Parks and Wildlife, and the San Antonio River Authority to teach our viewers how to save water, improve the environment, and make South Texas a friendlier place for our native species and ourselves. Invasive species cost the U.S. $137 billion annually in prevention, monitoring, and control, as well as damage to crops, fisheries, forests, and other resources. Some of the most harmful species cost in excess of $100 million a year in Texas alone. Here are some of the examples of the stories we've done for you over the last couple of months to make you aware of the importance of being nature conscious. Texas, by the way, is divided into several what are called ecoregions. We fall into several of them: South Texas Plains, Blackland Prairies, and Post-Oak Savanna. In each one of these groups, there are plants called the dirty dozen, for which they are most common and most destructive. Here are the ones that impact the San Antonio area: bastard cabbage, giant reed, Johnson grass, Chinese tallow tree, King Ranch bluestem, field bindweed, Bermuda grass. If you'd like to know more, go to this website, texasinvasives.org. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Flores for News4 San Antonio.
San Antonio's most accurate forecast. 4-zone weather.
Why, Albert,
Okay.
What do you have there?
Well, this is called a rat snake. Can we get a shot of it? I don't know which camera's going to get it, but you can see it's a real rat snake. And people see these in the gardens all the time. And Craig's with the zoo. Tell me why these are good.
Well, they eat a lot of rodents, and the less rodents we have, the less potential for disease we have out there.
Yeah, so they keep all the bad stuff away from our gardens. Do you want to touch it, Evie?
I touched him earlier.
Anyway,
I'm not a big snake
how many
person.
different kinds of rat snakes do we have here locally in our gardens?
About, in the local area here, 2 different types.
Yeah, and this one's a baby, Evie. Come on.
No, he told me before that's an adult male.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
We'll get you a bigger one then.
Okay.
People, they run into snakes all the time when they're working their gardens. They
And
want
they
to know
freak out like me.
what to do.
Well, typically snakes are looking for a food source, and the primary food source that people in urban areas provide are food for rodents, like keeping out pet food, possibly having garbage that hasn't been contained properly, maybe even feeding birds, having the excess feed fall to the ground. So snakes are there because they're actually after the rodents that are feeding on these things that we have in our gardens. There are a lot of great beneficial snakes that are in our backyards, and if you know the venomous from the non-venomous ones, that's really a great way to kind of subside some of your fears. Rat snakes are not poisonous. They're a very harmless snake and very commonly found in our backyards, and also very beneficial.
Hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Flores with News for Nature. Today, we're going to be talking about lawns, and this one is a typical San Antonio lawn. It's covered with St. Augustine. Gorgeous, green, but it takes you thousands of gallons of water a year to keep it looking this good. And on the other end of the spectrum would be a wildscape, like this for your front yard, which is made of Texas native and hardy plants that take little to no water. Well, you've got a great looking wildscape. Tell me about why people should pick a Texas native and ask for it at the nursery.
Because Texas native plants have been here for eons. They know Texas weather. They know how to handle this weather. They know how to handle our dirt and our soils, and they do okay.
For more information on how you could create a wildscape, go to the Texas Parks and Wildlife website and search wildscapes. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Flores for News4 San Antonio.
A more natural way to do this would be to get a bag of compost or an organic fertilizer to apply onto the yard, and this will allow the yard to promote healthy, beneficial organisms and provide growth and deep root systems, and will allow the grass to grow and become more drought tolerant as the summer comes in. Well, when you put compost in the ground, it becomes like a sponge. And so as summer comes in and the compost is on the yard, it causes a cooling effect for one thing. And secondary, as you're watering, this becomes a sponge and holds water microscopically. Well, if we use chemical fertilizers, which are typically about 90% salt, salt kills life. So if we put microbes in the ground and then we just say, well, I'm gonna go back and buy a certain brand of fertilizer that has typical salt in it, we just destroyed everything we worked for to make the yard better.
Some examples of plants that you should avoid at the nursery are Vitex. It's sometimes called Texas lilac. Another one would be Chinese pistache, and another one would be ligustrum. And those are generally very readily available, but there are lots of suitable native species that provide the same types of characteristics that make those plants desirable. But with the native plants, you also get the benefits of wildlife habitat or water conservation that those other plants may not provide.
Give me some ideas then of some of the plants I should be looking for.
Some good native plants to put in your landscape would include mountain laurel, wax myrtle, and cenizo. And all three of those are readily available. They've got beautiful traits like bright colored flowers or evergreen leaves, and they all provide wildlife habitat.
Is to take a knife and cut along the bottom of this pot all the way around. And these pots are very flimsy. They're designed to be cut very easily. Like for instance, I can take my little knife right here and just cut these just like this. And what we're going to do is goes all the way around the side of the pot here. Take that bottom off. We're going to take this and put it into the ground. When we put it in the ground, we're going to take one more cut and we're going to splice this down all the way to the bottom. And then we're going to add some soil around this first before I unpeel this. And the reason why we do that is so that the dirt won't fall apart. And when we undo this one, you won't see this on the ground, but this is what you're trying to save is all these fine roots. These are the guys that we do not want to cut or damage or tear. We're going to sift it out just like this, and nothing's been disturbed. This did not fall apart. It's in no shock. We didn't cut any root systems. We just take our soil, put the proper dirt level like this. Be sure not to cover the graft, and voila, we're there.
A rain garden is a shallow depression that helps to intercept or collect stormwater runoff from your home, your driveway, your sidewalk, and other areas. Captures that rain garden and helps to clean that water and helps that water infiltrate into the ground, helps clean it, and helps improve water quality in our creeks and streams and rivers. Rain gardens are important because they help with the overall water quality within our watershed. They can help to alleviate localized flooding impacts. They can also help to provide a landscape that's beautiful in your yard that requires less water because you're using that rainwater more effectively on your landscape.
If we all do a small part in our little piece of Texas, we can make a big difference in the betterment of our state. I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Flores for News 4 San Antonio.